So here we are. That's Soy Bangla down there. That's Massage Alley down there. The traffic is coming from that direction. Well, officially it is, though this is Thailand. It can come at you from any direction. Yeah. A solitary tuk-tuk. Wow. This is a bar I used to love sitting out at. You could sit there and just watch the world go by, because this path here was just thronged with holidaymakers walking past, you know, and you could sit there and have a nice cold draft beer, watch them, because I'm a great people watcher. So I used to love that. Again, it's one of those bars that, will it ever open again, you know? This brought back some memories. There used to be a good live band that performed there. It was a great place to sit out in that courtyard at night. Inside was a nightclub, a Banana. Maybe it will be again. But going through my old still photos, I came across one about 2 or 3 days ago, funnily enough, taken, and there was Patong Elvis performing out there. He was an Elvis impersonator, would you believe? And strange really that I'm now walking down here and that's exactly where he was on his soapbox doing his Elvis impersonation. Bit late with the sentiment. Well, they put the sign up last November and no one's bothered to come back to take it down, I guess. In fact, it's closed. Although if it is, I wouldn't leave all that stuff in the window. Just checking on the opening situation of this place. This is the only bar that I'm really interested in visiting. I can see that it's closed. I'm expecting it to be. I think they've been opening from Thursday through to Sunday, 4 in the afternoon. And you've seen me videoing this place many a time. And that's exactly the way it still is, I think. Thursday through something day. Who knows what day? I don't know. Anyway, it all helps to keep me sober. I haven't got the slightest interest in going anywhere else. You know, I'd pop in here for a beer occasionally if it was open, but it's not. So there we are. So now I'm in the shade, I can actually see the screen. I'm going to have to do something about the brightness of this display. Unless it's on its way out, of course, there's always that. But anyway, here we are, walking down Soy Bangla. I don't want to go down Massage Alley, and I don't want to risk the beach, so I'm going to have to go the long way around, and the vast majority of everything is closed. They'll be open this evening, or some of them will. Looks like the Aussie bar is open over there, but there's nothing to tempt me in there. There's no one else there. Good for them for opening, but I'm not going to let that break my record. Haven't had a drink now since Christmas Day. So, and obviously there was a couple of months, or a month before that. After I got my visa, I stopped drinking again because I was so stressed out at the time. I went back on the booze for a little while. Felt all the good benefits of my abstaining slipping away, so it became a big priority to stop drinking again. And you know, that was 3 months ago, barring a couple of days over Christmas, and it's taken that long to start to feel okay again. It really affects me badly nowadays, sad to say. But that's okay. I realise the problem, and I'm not, like I said before, I'm not physically addicted to alcohol, so if the reason is good enough, I can stop. I had a bit of a test yesterday, in fact, and the day before. I've been waiting for this bloody debit card to arrive, and on Saturday I was that bar we've just looked into, Molly's. I knew they were open at 4 o'clock on the Saturday, so I thought, if that bloody card comes, F it, I'm going down for a celebratory drink to relieve the anxiety. And of course the card didn't come, so I didn't go. You know, I thought about going for a conciliatory beer, but then, you know, I made the right thought. I said to myself, you go down there and you have a beer, you wake up the next day, you've broken your fast for nothing, and you still haven't got the fucking card. So don't do it, you know. So Saturday turned into Sunday, no card, and card came yesterday, Monday, and I was sorely tempted. No, I was tempted a little bit yesterday to just get a bottle of beer out of the fridge and have it, but I managed to talk myself out of it. You see, it's the mind of the drunk. I'm not an alcoholic, but I have got this demon inside my head that says, well, that's a good excuse for having a beer. And of course, there's no such thing as just one beer, you know. Though I do honestly believe that if I did have a beer, I could limit it to the one day. But that's not what I want to do. Anyway, that's Soy Bangla over. Now we turn down the main road, and here we are. There used to be some good eating places down this road at night. They've all closed down. This is a good knick-knack shop. There's lots of good shit in here. They spent a lot of money redecorating this, but the tourists haven't come back yet. So around about this spot here was the site of one of my then favourite bars, the Two Black Sheep. And this is what it looked like back in the day, 8 or 10 years ago. It's hard to say. This is going back donkey's years now. This is going back 10 years or so. And I did a video about a year or so ago on exactly that subject, so I realise I'm repeating myself. I was looking for, I knew it was around here somewhere, it was all different in those days. There was a big open food mall over there somewhere, and I was looking around wondering where the hell was it? And I remember on the other side of the road over there somewhere there was a guy, well, there was a market that used to set up around about 4 in the afternoon, because I'm an afternoon drinker anyway. So there was a guy there that always wore a cowboy hat, but underneath he had a sarong, you know, as queer as a 9-bob note, but tough as old boots. I said at the time you wouldn't want to tell him that. And purely by chance, I found an old photo of me standing outside the bar, and it had those 2 towers on it.
And here is the photo showing the towers.
So I knew that right opposite was the 2 Black Sheep bar, and it was on this site here where this new block has been built.
And it all looked different back then, didn't it?
This is the site of my old favourite bar, 2 Black Sheep. And that's where they used to set up the market. The owner of the 2 Black Sheep, they used to sit right here. Right here. It used to be the... I can see it now as I'm here in my mind's eye. I can see it. I want to go over the threshold and buy a beer, you know. The owner was a serious alcoholic, and come early evening he'd be completely off his face, and his Thai wife used to look at him with undisguised contempt on her face. And I was sat outside on that spot with Noone one evening, and he was on a table right behind me with some of his drunken friends, and he was really off of his trolley. And a couple of poor people came past, you know, begging for money or wanting to sell something, and you know, I just said no thank you. But he threw a bloody stubby glass bottle at them, which smashed at their feet on the sidewalk. It caused a hell of a ruckus. But the truth is that that glass bottle had flown past my right ear and missed me by a whisker, because he was drunk. And if it had hit me on the back of the head, I wasn't wearing any head protection, it would have best part have killed me, I reckon. It's an absolute and utter fucking moron. Anyway, his bar closed. Last I heard, he was drinking the rest of his life away. Over behind me, over there somewhere, a road or so behind me. He'd be dead by now. That was 10 years ago. But obviously he wasn't an old man. He was about 50. Although he looked a lot older. So there we are. The evils of booze. I'm well acquainted with them. Long Leon, the school. Doesn't seem so long ago that it was me in the playground. Where did it all go? Where did it all go? Okay, the last leg. The bike is just down the bottom of this road. And over there, the green building, that is Joy's Cafe. I don't know who owns it now, whether Joy still owns it, but that's been there as long as I've been coming to Phuket, which is more than 20 years. All that development there. And Joy, I reckon, was a Thai lady, and probably in cahoots with a Phalang man, a diver, because there was always a diving suit in there, probably still is. And they had the old dentist chair that they'd sit you in and tip you up and pour spirits down your neck and whatever. I've got a vague memory I've been in there once, but many, many, many years ago, and I'd like to go back in there again one day. I don't even know if it's a bar or whether it's a cafe, but always up, there's no one in it, so I'm not tempted. I'm not going to sit there and be the only one in the bar, in the restaurant. Now, down here, that is where just, I can see this, I see my finger, this one here, onwards, backwards, that was the site of the legendary Uncle Charlie's Boys, which was the original building on that site. Looked a bit like, you know, this, in the same style. And it was a seedy place where homosexuals used to hang out, under the guidance of Uncle Charlie, no doubt. And it was a real shithole, but they could go in there and get into a room and do what they feel they have to do. And, you know, it was very well known, and I always used it as a joke, going to Uncle Charlie's Boys if all else fails. And of course, in the fullness of time, it all got knocked down and redeveloped. And everything on this site here is new at least 2 times over, because this was a huge green field here when I first came here. And I had this wonderful photo of Noone as a young woman walking across that field with 2 other Thai girls, and it was amazing. She just stood out like a movie star, because she was beautifully dressed in this really wonderful kind of suit, but she had, you know, it was shorts and a vest all the way over there somewhere. And the other 2 were just dressed like plain Commodore Garden, slightly dumpy Isan girls, which they obviously were. But I often wonder who took the photo, probably her boyfriend at the time. And I deeply regret not having that photo anymore. Maybe one day it'll turn up somewhere. It's certainly not in my archive. I often wonder if it'll turn up one day in her house, because there are a couple of very interesting photos of her as a young woman in her house in her hometown too. But not this one. That's very nice, isn't it? Very, very nice. Now, if I planted something like that, it would die in an instant. This is all the remnants of that field. Of course, it's not a field anymore. And just down in front of us here on the right hand side, there was a bit laid over, laid aside as a sports ground, which is still there. They do football and stuff on there, and And Phuket Bike Week, which comes the week after Songkran in a normal year, that is held in that field there. You get bikers from all over Asia coming, and everyone comes and sets up stalls and sells biker related stuff. It's great. I only ever seen it once, funnily enough, because I've been here plenty of Songkrans, but I was always up in Noye's hometown, and this, you know, Phuket Bike Week was done and dusted by the time I ever got back here, always, you know, so I never ever saw it again. Maybe they'll do it again. It's a bit of an institution, so I think they will. That temple there is where all the bodies off the beach in the tsunami were held till they could be processed. A lot of people died on this beach. I used to say 5,000, but that's not true. Maybe 5,000 people in Thailand died in total, but it wasn't all on this beach. I should look it up, but can't be bothered. There's the sports field. That's where they have Phuket Bike Week. Which is normally about the second week in April. It's, or is it the third week? Yeah, I think Songkran is the second week in April, I think. So here we are. This has been a hell of a deviation just to avoid the massage girls, but I needed the walk, so I'm not complaining. Okay, you can get over now. So there's the bike, and there we have it. Hope you enjoyed coming along with me. Bye bye.